it appears President Trump's trip to the Middle East was a success. Would you agree?
No, do not get distracted. A lot of these deals are complete fluff and are completely hollow. First of all, Trump got a $400 million jet right before he went to Qatar. Off the back of that, all right, breaking news, there is another layer of blatant, brazen corruption going on with Trump's visit to the Middle East, and we have to break it down. But first, I'm incredibly tired of the way the media is irresponsibly covering these so-called deals that are oftentimes performative or hollow, or a lot of the time even fake. Yet the media doesn't push back on the deals, they just repeat Trump's words. For example, there have been multiple deals that had either already been in place for a decade that Trump claimed credit for, or that Biden negotiated and Trump claimed credit for, or that just aren't even possible, like the other party promises amount of money that they can't possibly give to Trump, and Trump still takes credit for it. And the mainstream media runs with the headline every single time, and it's irresponsible. It is lying to the American people. And when it comes to the Democratic Party, I'm going to be honest, I think the Democrats should be messaging about this in a little bit more of a radical, relentless way. Democratic politicians should be leading the way in channeling voters' anger back into the American people in the form of messaging. And to be honest, I would rather hear Democrats come down on Trump for the Qatari jet and the corruption rather than pull out a chart with very specific tariff numbers down to the decimal. Like have we not learned? Yes, of course the tariffs are bad, but we don't need a chart that says 146.97% is what you're paying. And it's like, no. Just make it simple and talk about the corruption and then relate it back. Sorry. That's a messaging tangent that I went on. But check this out. Trump company strikes Qatari golf resort deal in a sign it's not holding back from foreign business. What do you mean they struck a Qatari golf resort deal? Like the implication that there was any negotiation or any thought that went into this. No. Qatar is trying to impress Trump, so they gave him a jet and cut a deal because they view him as this old school type politician that you can cut deals with. You know, in 1 second, I'm going to show you my clip from Fox 5 DC. I go on these local Fox stations and I make sure that we spread our messaging. I'm going to play this in 1 second because you guys will enjoy it. But the Trump family company struck a deal Wednesday to build a luxury golf resort in Qatar and a sign it has no plans to hold from foreign deal making during a second Trump term, despite the danger of a president shaping U.S. policy for personal financial gain. I love how toothless the wording of this article is. It's like, there is a slight danger that a president could use policy for his personal gain and maybe even benefit. There's a danger of that. Dude, we're way past the danger. Trump is openly, brazenly doing this on almost a daily basis, whether it's with crypto, whether it's having other country buy into his crypto shitcoin, whether it's countries gifting him jets or countries striking quote-unquote deals that he lies about. Like one of my favorite examples of this egregious lying is when Trump claimed that he has a huge deal with South Korea coming up where we eliminated tariffs. He said him and South Korea are about to cut a deal. Yet South Korea and America have been allies, number one, for a while, but we've had a zero tariff trade agreement since 2014 under Obama. South Korea, they are our allies. You can just call them up and ask them if they can change their negotiation or to change their deal a little bit. You don't have to nuke their economy. But here's what Trump did. He took Obama's plan from 2014, shredded it, rewrote the exact same plan and taped it back together, and then acted like he took a win, except Obama's plan was ratified through Congress. It was a long-term plan that was consistent through administrations. Trump's plan is only valid for the duration of his administration. So South Korea is like, what the fuck? Like, the U.S. is not even reliable anymore. The point is, then media organizations begin to say, Trump announces deal with South Korea. Trump cuts deal with South Korea. Trump makes major first deal, and South Korea is the partner. And it's like, can you guys say in the headline, I know it's hard to do, but Trump fakes a deal with South Korea? Because he did. He faked a deal with South Korea, and this brings me back to him striking these deals with Qatar, I think that, number one, it's blatant, brazen corruption, as I said, because the project, which features Trump-branded beachside villas and an 18-hole golf course to be built by a Saudi Arabian company, is the first foreign deal made by the Trump org since Trump took office. Dude, so this dude is in the Middle East on a foreign diplomatic trip, and he's leveraging that He's leveraging that to cut deals. I'm not even surprised, but I'm surprised that nobody's calling this out so blatantly. That's why we are here. I want to show you me going on Fox and calling this out. This is a local Fox station in DC. If you appreciate me going out there and spreading the truth, make sure you scroll down and drop a like.
Moving ahead today on Capitol Hill as hardliners signal they may vote no in a key committee. Joining us to discuss this and so much more, our guy is back, Mr. Adam Mockler, Gen Z expert and political strategist, right here on the Live Zone. Happy Friday, Adam. Good to see you.
Happy Friday. How you doing?
I'm good. Never a Friday I haven't met that I didn't love, because guess what's coming up next? The weekend. And I think you will celebrate that as well, as will our viewers. Hey, let's talk about the big story out of D.C. right now, Adam, and that happens to be FBI Director Kash Patel announcing earlier today that, well, the Bureau is leaving its longtime headquarters right here in the nation's capital, transferring some 1,500 employees to locations around the country. Now, he says the building is no longer safe. During his first term back in 2018, President Trump made it clear that he couldn't stand the building and would be glad to see it go. Apparently, Adam, the president now getting his way. What say you?
Yeah, there's a nuanced position to be taken here. Decentralization isn't inherently bad. We live in the age of decentralization and working from home. But you have to look at the intention. You have to look at the process behind it. When Trump is saying that this is an ugly building, and then Kash Patel seems to be trying to decentralize for politically motivated reasons, and then moving civil servants into specifically red states and red areas, it raises red flags about whether the decentralization is being used to improve efficiency or just shift the federal workforce in a place where the culture is more right-leaning. Now, if we look at the previous acts of this administration, I would wager it's the second one, trying to move the civil servants to places that are. But I mean, there's a reality where decentralization is fine.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see all of this unfold right before our very eyes. Quite honestly, this happened to be a surprise, not only to me, but, well, pretty much all of those who happen to be working within that building as well. Hey, speaking of the FBI, we now know that the Department of Homeland Security, get this, investigating a social media post by former FBI Director James Comey. Now, Comey posted a picture of seashells arranged to read 8647. Now, to some, 86 means to get rid of it, and of course, Donald Trump is the 47th president. The DHS Secretary, Kristi Noem, says her department now investigating, and, well, they're really looking at it as a potential assassination threat. Comey took down the post, saying he didn't realize anyone associated 86 with violence. I gotta tell you, it seems kind of fishy here.
I mean, listen, I think we can all agree that any threat of violence against anyone is unacceptable. I don't think that anybody should be even making jokes about that. But I don't know, unless James Comey is on some Kanye West-esque, like, manic episode, I think he just made a mistake and thought it meant, impeach or get rid of out of office. I don't know if this dude would openly post political threats. But I mean, again, if it's a threat of violence, for sure, investigate it. I mean, yeah, investigate it either way. But we just need to be careful not to conflate political speech with criminal intent, especially when we have an administration that's probably a little bit more trigger-happy than others.
Yeah, well said. It's really interesting to see that unfold. When I saw that, it had to do a double take, and to your point, perhaps it was just the rhetoric that was misunderstood. As we all know, Trump's Middle East trip has yielded, well, a list of deals, including a partnership with the UAE to build a massive AI data complex, a commitment from Saudi Arabia to invest some $600 billion in the U.S., and Qatar's agreement to buy U.S.-made Boeing planes. For the most part, it appears President Trump's trip to the Middle East was a success. Would you agree?
No, do not get distracted. A lot of these deals are complete fluff and are completely hollow. First of all, Trump got a $400 million jet right before he went to Qatar. Off the back of that, he cut this massive deal with Saudi Arabia. But remember, in 2017, Trump cut another deal with Saudi Arabia for $142 billion. It never manifested. It was never realized. They're making Trump look like a fool by having this transactional relationship where I don't know if he even realizes it's transactional. Like, they view him as this old patronage type leader where you can give him gifts and maybe they'll give you something in return. Now, to take a nuanced stance, yes, it's a win overall in PR. But I also think we have to look at the history and the context of his old deals. Remember, In 2017, he got this massive deal with Saudi Arabia, but do they actually deliver? Or do they know what game they're playing with Donald Trump and PR? That's the question to ask.
All right. Well, hopefully we'll get an answer to that.
Yo, thank you all for watching. If you made it this far in the video, you're a real one. Make sure you comment, "Hi, Adam," so I know that you're a real one. I love you all. See you in the next video. Peace out.